First of all, let me thank you for allowing me to be a part of your meeting. I apologize for not being there. Madison is one of my most favorite cities in America, and the University of Wisconsin is one of our top 20 benchmark targets. So I'm looking forward to having conversations with you all when you return to Lexington. We've also been able to recruit out of the University of Wisconsin. Dr. Jim Tracy is our Vice President for Research. He served there for many years. And also Provost Subaswamy almost went there. He was one of the 3 finalists for the provost position, but chose to come back to Kentucky, where he had served for 18 years, to be our provost. Anytime we can hire people from there or people who are headed there, it's a good day for the University of Kentucky. One of the reasons that I'm so pleased that Commerce Lexington set the trip in Madison this year is that the University of Wisconsin has set a very high mark for commercialization. You're going to learn about some of the discoveries they made, some of the major royalties that they received, and the fact that they invest not only in additional startup companies, but also in other parts of the University of Wisconsin. So it's a great model for you to learn about and come back and give us some hints as to how we can improve as well. As we begin looking at what I call the chain of economic development, one of the first things you have to do is to have an attitude where the university wants to make jobs spin out and where the community has the wherewithal to help those jobs so that they can create new companies. The university didn't have that attitude when I was a professor. Many of you have heard me tell the story that I started DataBeam when I was a young professor at UK, and I was trying to raise money for it. One day we got a new dean. He walks up and asks me to come to his office, and first question he asked me is, how can you have a company and be a professor at the same time? My comment to him was, if I was still at MIT and I didn't have a company, I'd be called the dean's office. We are changing that attitude now. Our deans are very supportive. Our attitude is that we have to create jobs. And I'm going to go through this chain with you in a little more detail because it has to start with the beginning. It has to start with a university that's doing research. We did $331 million worth of expenditures in research last year. That puts us into the mid-30s among the top universities in the country. Then we started an E-Club, an entrepreneurship club for students. We want those students to think about not just working for somebody else all their lives, but starting their own businesses and joining some of their friends. And so we talk about that not only with the scientists and the engineers, but also for the students in the arts, the students in journalism, because many of them will have their own businesses as well. We want these students, when they come in, the first day on this campus, to see innovation, to feel discovery. I'm extremely proud of the fact that this year's undergraduate research conference had more UK students than any other university in the country. We had 33. The University of Michigan, which does $600 million in research, had only 20. And so we are moving up that ladder, and these kids come back with a different attitude. They come back and say, we can compete with the Wisconsins and the Michigans and the Cornells. That's the attitude modification that we're wanting to create. We've also started our Office of Commercialization. I'm pleased that Lynn Heller has chosen to come on this trip with you all. You can learn a lot from Lynn. He has been tremendously helpful to us. He oversees our patenting effort on the campus. We have to decide as these ideas come forward, which one of those are going to be valuable as far as a revenue-generating potential. He oversees 2 on-campus incubators that we have, where our faculty members can start their companies right on our campus, and they can hire students and graduate students to work in those labs right out of the classroom. If they graduate from those incubators, we offer them the opportunity to move to Coldstream. We now have 60 companies on Coldstream, and I give Lynn a lot of credit in how that park is developing and how we are not only just growing companies that come out of our university, but some that come out of the community and some that we recruit to the state of Kentucky. We are extremely fortunate in having joined with Commerce Lexington, with the City of Lexington, to build the Bluegrass Business Partnership, which is an award-winning partnership where we provide a one-stop shop downtown for people who want to start their companies. Another thing that fits in very naturally to this whole economic chain is just funding. We have to have venture funds, and then we have to have banks that understand how to pick those companies up that have been successful at generating products and help take them to the next level. Some years ago, Dean Harvey helped us start the Venture Club. And we have meetings where our entrepreneurs can speak to citizens just like yourselves that want to attend to learn about what's happening at the university in the way of entrepreneurship. We then put it together an angel network to try to get people who've created wealth, maybe not in the areas of innovation where we specialize, but they have wealth to invest, but they may not know exactly how, or they may want to partner with some friends in order to make that investment. We then started an angel fund, which has been investing in several companies in Lexington recently, and hopefully you'll hear more about that. If you don't, just pull Lynn off the side because he'll be able to tell you a lot about it. Each year we monitor how much new money flows into Lexington so that we can see that we've got enough capital flow that we can tell people that they can be successful here. This year we celebrated the fact that $69 million worth of new investment capital came into 68 early stage companies. I'm proud to say that 39 of those companies have UK intellectual property. When we started tracking these investments, we had 0 national venture capital. Of the $69 million we announced this year, $37 million of that came from national venture capital organizations. They're now getting the confidence that we have the intellectual property, but we also have local investors who can help oversee the deals that they invest in. And that's what brings the national venture capitalists to our arena, and that's what allows us to really start up some of these companies we're going with now. So in conclusion, let me just say that we are putting this economic chain together. We're putting it together with results. Pay attention to what's going on